Welcome to BehatiLife YouTube channel featuring Jessica Alexandria of BehatiLife. This is the space to ground, grow, and connect with magic and intention. May this video inspire you to come home to yourself and remind you of your own magic within. I hope this message reaches you with perfect divine timing. Now grab your favorite tea and let's go ahead and dive right in. Hello, my loves, and welcome back to BehatiLife YouTube channel. Guys, it's been a minute since I've been able to sit, hang out with you guys, pull charts, and vibe. Most of you know that I have been hanging out in Costa Rica. I was leading a retreat, the Divine Feminine in Costa Rica retreat. It was absolutely phenomenal. I'm still in awe and still have no words. Now, before I put my feet on Costa Rican sands and Costa Rican dirt, I had already set the intention to keep my eyes on the divine, as I always do, and allow myself to be led by the divine, especially when it comes to retreats and when it comes to healing. I never regret it, but of course I don't regret it, but I always am just so in awe and so excited and so proud of myself for continuing to put that first, because the level of healing that every person that showed up on that trip was able to receive, including myself, was absolutely beyond. So there will be more retreats in the near future. There have been some more opportunities that have opened up for a lot of depth to happen, a lot of opportunity to go deep. So keep your eyes open for that. Most of you guys, though, we have to talk about the week ahead, which is why you're here. Outside of the fact that there has been major transition that's going on already. For example, the fact that Saturn is currently retrograde, Pluto has been retrograde. These are planets that have been kicking up a lot of dust, a lot of dirt into our eyes in our present circumstances. If you don't know, Saturn rules karma, it rules restriction, it rules commitment, the things that feel like it confines us, contains us, and holds us back. Especially when it's retrograde, it's not that this energy is holding us back, it's trying to break us open. And it will try to attempt this methodical and divinely inspired and divinely led medicine in the parts of you that can honestly be the most stubborn and resistant to that change. This is going to be felt across the board for every single one of us. But of course, I always want to encourage you to look at your own astrological chart, your natal chart, and see how this placement is impacting you by looking at what house it's currently falling in. Now, Saturn is currently sitting in the sign of Pisces. It's transiting through the sign of Pisces. It's moving through the sign of Pisces. So look for Pisces energy, but also remember that even if you don't know astrological details or you don't know how to pull your chart, a wonderful way to navigate through these waters and to vibe with these energies or to understand this energy is to really fall back and fall within yourself and trust yourself. Truly trust yourself. When you close your eyes, when you sit with your spirit, when you sit with the divine, when you ask your guides and your ancestors to show up for you in this moment, what are they saying? What are they talking to you? What are they speaking to you? What are they whispering to you? Because this is very important. This is a moment, an opportunity for you to hear their voices and watch where, observe where you are currently being led. So, of course, the astrological charts can give you additional depth and understanding into what it is that's happening. But ultimately, remember that even if you didn't have all those tools, at the end of the day, you do have yourself. So don't be hesitant and don't resist leaning into that knowledge and that wisdom. Now, there's a few transits that I really definitely want to talk with you guys about. Where is my iPad? Or technically Franklin's iPad. I had everything, it's right here. I had it all written down in notes because I'm trying to be a little bit more organized. Usually, as a Virgo, I'm pretty organized for the most part, but it's different when I'm pulling the charts and I'm vibing. Organization goes right out the window, and I just allow myself to flow, including allowing interruptions to kind of make their way into the video, which I'm not open to, but I'm not trying to fight that. So first things first, you guys, I do have the chart pulled up on my right, And on my iPad, I have some notes that I have written down in more organized bullet points. And at my feet, I have more notes that I wrote down because I love to use pen and paper, Sharpie, and allow myself to channel. I do want to say that what you can expect in this video is the full breakdown of these astrological transits. Towards the end, I'm going to inspire you, hopefully, fingers crossed, in how to work with this magic and how to infuse the medicine of these planets into your day-to-day life. And at the very end, I'm going to shuffle and pull cards. And then we're going to close out. So just keep your eyes on that. Let's go ahead and dive right in. So first things first, I do want to talk to you guys about the triggerization that has been happening this week. It's very important for me in my own practice and my own rituals to take steps back before I move forward. This is so important. So it also shows up in astrology. So today is the 25th, that it is I'm filming. It's a Sunday, but I want to go back to the 22nd. The 22nd, Mars, ruling our drive, our ambition, currently transiting through the sign of Leo, was in a beautiful trine with Chiron, the wounded healer aspect that's falling in the sign of Aries. This had already begun to initiate action that needs to happen for your own divine healing. As I'm saying that, the word that just came through, that popped up in my intuition, that Spirit is leading me to share with you guys, is the word a departure. There's parts of yourself I feel that you have departed away from, or parts of yourself that you have fractured from. Usually for most of us, this can come from us living in survival mode, trying to chase our goals, pursue things that we have meaning to us, whether it be a relationship, whether it be a goal, whatever that looks like. In that process, your heart can carry the weight and the load of that burden, meaning that the pursuit, like your active pursuit of your goal, or the active pursuit of something that you know or feel or sense is important to you for whatever reason, whether that be something that you're spiritually led into, or expectations that the world or your family or that you have upon yourself. Sometimes when you are in pursuit of that, imagine like an antelope or a cheetah chasing, trying to get to the finish line or trying to get to the goal. Sometimes the burden of that weighs heavy on our bodies, our spiritual body, our mental body, our emotional body, our physical body. And as Mars, the planet that rules that drive, that ambition, that fire, that spark, that warrior energy that we all have within us, that masculine energy, as it's moving through the sign of Leo, Leo is concentrating on the heart and concentrating on authentic and creative expression, and that explosion and that revelation and that expression that is so beautiful and so stunning and so worth sharing with the world, and also just sharing with the trees or wherever it is, because that's what I do. I would literally go out in my backyard with my trees, with my chickens, with my animals, and I would vibe, and I share with them my heart, whether I'm singing, whether I'm calling out, whether I'm writing poetry, whether I'm drawing, whatever it is. There's this expression there that happens. So as Mars trines with Chiron, sitting currently transiting through Aries rules the energy of I am. It's how we define ourselves. It's also the way that we define ourselves, how it gives us power, how it allows us to feel strong within ourselves, how it calls us to be a leader, or calls in our own initiation. So roughly around the 22nd, go ahead and take a trip back, right? Go ahead and look back and see how this energy might have already started to show up and play out for you. I'm going to put my iPad and my laptop on Do Not Disturb, because the notifications will come in. So basically what I want to encourage within you is to observe how you might have felt, even though this is a trine, I want to encourage how you might have felt a heaviness or even a levity. Those are polar opposites, but everyone's different. How you might have felt those two polarizing feelings when it comes to your heart center and when it comes to your own creation, or even the fact that you yourself were created, your own self-worth, your own self-value. Do you feel stabilized within yourself? Do you feel fruitful? Do you feel abundant? So these are transits. Again, this is very important that we take a step back, because it's already starting to show where it is that we are walking away from, and it starts to play into our experience, our present now here. So I don't want you guys to look away from the fact that Pluto also did just recently enter back into the sign of Capricorn. This is because Pluto has just recently turned retrograde. So this is another sign that we are having to relive, recount, regrow through, transform, go back to the ashes of our past selves, go back to what has died, what we had to release. For some of you guys, this is long-term relationships, long-term commitments that you've had, long-term goals that you might have abandoned. Now Pluto is saying we got to go back. And now that the part of fortune, which rules our luck, and if we're able to tap into that, we'll find oil there, we'll find wealth there. When we look for the part of fortune in the sign of Capricorn, it's really important that you go back to those goals or that part of yourself that you've been fighting through. Now, for some of you guys, this is the same part of your life that you're like, listen, I'm done with this part of my life. I've already lived through it. I've grown through it. I'm matured. I've been made better, or I'm exhausted. And there's no way that you will catch me back in that same territory that I've already walked away from, because a Pluto transit through Capricorn is intense, and Pluto transits are long. They are hard. They are exhausting. They are debilitating in a lot of ways while we're in it, but towards the end of it, where we start to realize like, whoa, I needed this to better understand myself and to become more empowered. So don't be surprised if you find yourself now currently being triggered by these things that make you feel like you're powerful, but be careful that the feeling is actual true. Let me dive into that a little bit more. Just because it feels like it's making you powerful, just because it feels like you're in control, that might not necessarily be the energy that it brings to you. It could be an illusion. It could be something that our shadow selves deceive us, or something that we wish to believe, we hope and look for an escape. But the truth is that escape or that shortcut is actually creating more harm than good. And the best way to be with that is to sit with that, to sit with yourself and ask yourself, is this actually giving me control and power in my life? Or is this something that is feeding my inner demons, my inner dark side that is craving and quenching and screaming out and wants this and is begging for this because it doesn't know a better solution, and that this is a comfort zone for me? So these are, again, the same places that you have been placed. It's not that you put yourself here. It's that the universe or circumstances placed you there to learn and to grow through it. So it can be very, very painful. This can highlight marriages. It can highlight your beliefs, your education. It can highlight your long-term goals. It can highlight addictions, codependency. It can highlight habits and lifestyles and things that you do when you don't feel whole and complete. Remember, because Mars currently transiting through Leo, triggering Chiron and Aries. It's what you do to soothe yourself, or what you do to give yourself power. But you really need to call into question, is this actually helping me, or is this setting me back? For some of you guys, it's going to be a big punch in the ego. And I want to keep that real with you, and I want to be 100% with you. It's going to be a big punch in the ego, because you'll say, you might feel reactive. You might be expressing yourself, pointing fingers towards others, saying it's you, not me. And this is energy where you really need to look into, how do I contribute to my own karma? How am I holding myself back? It's really, really definitely revealing. It's very, very revealing, because it talks big time about going back to some of the most difficult moments that you've already lived through in your life, and having to face them again and use your discernment in order to sense the truth of why you're here, or why you're in that space, and what you do in order to get out. And it's really wonderful to look for healers, or to ask for help, to ask for support, to ask for advice. But remember, like I said in the very beginning of this video, that you too are wise in this situation and you do have what it takes. That the problem is that are you giving yourself the space to truly feel, to sit with, to observe where spirit is leading you right now in order to break this karmic cycle? And I want to say really quickly too that this is nothing that you have done. It's just a part of the process here on Earth. And you're almost done, I promise. We're almost done it. It is a tough transit. Now let's go ahead and look into the present current moment, because again, this is giving you the foundation of where it is that we've already come from. Now let's go ahead and look at where we currently are right now. So the first thing that's standing out to me is the fact that Mercury, which rules our mind, communication, is squaring off with Neptune. This is going to be happening on the 25th. I myself have already been feeling this. I've been really vibing with the ocean lately. Neptune is in the final degrees of, Pisces. Neptune is in the final degrees of Pisces, and I've been so drawn to the ocean, towards water, towards spiritual baths, towards cathartic cleansing, towards looking at my own subconscious self. I want to encourage you guys to also do the same thing, because I think that I believe, now I'm not going to say that I think, I truly, without a fraction of a doubt, believe that this is where we are as in humanity. There are certain ways that we have learned to, I don't want to say deal with, but sit within ourselves without sitting within ourselves. So a lot of us, we can find ourselves running, or a lot of us can be in the depths of ourselves but be afraid to look at it. It's like, think about Spirit is showing me this image of like a child in their bed, and as soon as the lights go off, you don't feel safe anymore. You put your blanket over your head and you close your eyes and you wish it away, and it'll be all gone by tomorrow. But the things that you hear, the noises that you hear, are an amplification of your subconscious fears, and you don't even want to look. You don't want to look at it, and you just wait until it passes. And I think that for many of us, we can relate to that, where it's really scared for us to look into the depths of ourselves. And we may find, if I travel, if I go in a relationship, if I start a business, if I change my diet, if I change my jobs, then this external thing that is going to fall away from me, I won't have to see it, I won't have to face it, and it will pass. This transit is so slow that you don't really have the opportunity to, I think that for most of us, if you're watching my channel right now, if you're aligned to even be a part, vibe with me right now, you just don't have the luxury to run away for too long. At some point, the universe, your ancestors, your guides are going to take you by the shoulders and slowly change your perspective so that you can really see. And you might be shivering, you might be quivering, you might be quaking. Everything within you is quaking like a volcano or an earthquake, either in fear or in rage or in anger or in power, whatever it is, but you have to see. And this is the transit, honestly, this is the transit that we're navigating through right now. And I say all that to say, to bring it back full circle, that Mercury squaring Neptune starting the beginning of this week is going to bring back that inner quake, that inner feeling, that tremble, that instability that you may feel within you that says it's actually really time for me to look at this, to face this, and to begin to explore my depths. With that, I want to remind you that what you see and what you hear may not necessarily be truth. Why? Because Mercury squaring off with Neptune always creates illusion. It always creates confusion and deception. Does that mean that you turn your eyes away from it? No, because it's still an opportunity for you to ask questions, to be curious, and even learn about yourself and what you wish to believe in what you're seeing. And wait. And wade in it. Wait for it as you're going through it, but wade in it, because there's so much to understand about yourself. Also, Mercury squaring Neptune is going to bring in wave after wave after wave, certain thoughts, beliefs, things that you say to yourself, things that you say out loud, things that you say to others, things that you say to the universe. This realization, this truth of what you subconsciously believe, what you subconsciously sense, what you're subconsciously feeling. So try to, as much as you can, observe really listen to yourself and what you are quick to say, what you are quick to believe, what you are quick to think. Without judgment, it's revealing a lot about the subconscious. I want to say really quickly, for some of you guys, you're probably like, we're talking about astrology right now, and other channels are not going this deep. Maybe that's not what you're thinking, but that's what I want to bring up right now. That astrology has so many layers to it, and a lot of astrology right now stays kind of surface level or medium level. And here, my purpose and my goal is to stay authentic to myself, to stay authentic, and to reveal what Spirit is revealing to me and sharing those messages to you guys. At the end of the day, I am ruled by Mercury. Mercury is known as the messenger of God, the mouthpiece of God, or the divine, however you want to call it. And during these astrological transits, it's so important that, yes, this information can be very heavy. I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but I've also taken a big step back from constantly churning out information after information, because it can be so revealing, and so there's a lot of depth to it that it's even posting once a week can bring a lot, So I like to give time now to, after even listening to you guys in the comments, like, whoo, girl, saw that you posted, but I couldn't even go to it because I didn't want to face it. And I feel that. I can't relate to that harder. So I just want to say that for those of you guys that are with me right now vibing, still vibing, these astrological transits, we could keep it superficial. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Everything serves a purpose. We could keep it superficial. We could go medium deep, but I like to go deep. And that is something too that I myself am like, listen, this is what I do. This is a part of my purpose. This is why I'm here. And this is what you will find at this YouTube channel, is a constant deep dive into the energies, into the planets, into ourselves. I simply cannot stay at the surface. Even though I'm very playful and silly and wild at heart. It's just a part of my nature. All right, guys, let's continue on. So the other thing is, as if this wasn't heavy enough, on the 26th, we've got Mars squaring off with Uranus. And this will create enough irritation and action that will force you or inspire you in a great way to initiate great change from the heart space. I'm going to leave it at that, with a bullet point that I do also want you guys to keep an eye out for agitation in others, to not take anything personally. And also, I'm not saying for you to lay low, but keep an eye on what you're doing, but a side eye on what's happening around you, because these transits, any type of Mars and Uranus type of contact, you can create it. There's this energy that can be very explosive and unpredictable, and it can put people in danger. So just really keep an eye out for that. Also, we are living in a society right now where tradition has been breaking down, government has been breaking down, money and the things that make people, society feel safe are actively being broken down. So keep in mind that if this is the state of the world around you and you are living, moving, and breathing within that, I would not want you to, knock on wood, cross paths with someone's chaos making its way known in a big way that feels kind of explosive and unnecessary. So just keep an eye out that if there's a disturbance around you, I would not spend too much time trying to explore it and go deep within it, unless you as a healer feel called to show up, to lay hands, not to lay hands as far as fighting, but do you, boo. If you're going to fight somebody, I'm not here to stop you. That's not my way usually. Actually, a side note, super side note, I'm going to get distracted for a minute. I was listening to SZA this morning, and I heard her say in one of her videos, or one of her songs, I was nonviolent until you cornered me. Or something like that. Can you guys leave it in the comments? What's that SZA quote from, or what's the lyric? It was like, I was nonviolent until you cornered me. I thought that was so interesting. I really sat with it. I was just like, wow, I really relate to that, because I always felt very Bambi-like. Like, actually, when I was in Philadelphia, one of my nicknames was Bambi or Bams. Because of, I think because of my eyes and my eyelashes, and also just happens to be one of my spirit animals, which is interesting. But I always felt very doe-like. And then I lived, then I was living. And the part of me that was very gentle and quiet and super femme, but also maybe a little hesitant in showing up in my magic and showing up in my power, turned into a raging volcano who is very expressive, very cutthroat, very sharp at times. There are so many different aspects of myself. So I thought that was just really interesting that I had that revelation. I guess I'm sharing that with you guys to ask if you can relate to that too within that own energy, because that's something I saw within myself. And when I was listening to that lyric, I was like, yo, I did used to be nonviolent until I was cornered, or even was not just in like fighting or anything like that. Don't test me, like that's always the vibe. Like, just don't push people to that point. But just like how the universe will corner you in certain ways, in certain lives, where there's parts of you that become activated and become enraged and become powerful or become expressive in one way. And it's not bad. It's just a part of the process, it's a part of the journey. All right, guys, the other thing that I want to talk to you guys about, speaking of which, being a part of the journey, is the fact that Mercury, the planet of communication, like I said, is going to be entering into the sign of Cancer. This is very nurturing and supportive. And I feel this is going to be happening on the 22nd. No, it's not. It's going to be happening on the 26th. I big time buku feel, especially now that we're in Cancer season, just try to, and I just encourage you so deeply to lean into your feelings and lean into your emotions and lean into the vibe. What is the vibe telling you? What is the vibe's energy? What is it revealing to you? Because there is power within that. Cancer energy has always been known as the nurturer, and the protector, and the place that reminds us of home within ourselves or within another. But it's very protective in nature, and it's a cardinal sign, so it too will rage from an emotional place, an emotionally expressive place. Think about when you are triggered by something, or you're angry, or you're so happy that your whole body floods with emotions that you start to cry because tears become to express. That's an epitome of what Cancer energy represents. It's that feeling, that surge of such depth of emotion that it cannot be contained within your physical body. It literally leaks out as water. Cancer is water. So this, as Mercury and the Sun are transiting through the energy of Cancer, just know that this is how energy wants to express itself, through tears, through your expression of your feelings, whatever that looks like for you. And also find synchronistic energies that align with you that also mirror and match that, because you will find that it will pour into you. Believe it or not, this will also look like you watching someone else feel their feelings, even though they may not be, let's say they're not necessarily telling you, just the fact that they're expressing it, it pours into you because you can relate and you know that you're not alone and you're sharing those feelings and that connection with another human being. It's beautiful. So try to find those spaces where you can articulate yourself, or you can express yourself through the movement of water. Okay, I'll leave it at that. What else do we have here? Let me just look at the remainder of this week. I just want to see. Yeah, the second. Wow. Okay, the other thing that I want to talk to you guys about is the fact that Neptune, as if things weren't already cloudy and weird enough as they are, which I love, on the 30th, Neptune is going to go retrograde, again, also in the sign of Pisces. I made a post about this earlier this morning because I have noted how the ocean is calling back her power, how she is reactive, how even the souls and the spirits of the ocean and the animals that live within the ocean, how they are turbulent and tumultuous right now. There is a huge, I don't want to say cause and effect, but there is karma that is being set into place. There's an evening of the scales that's being set into the place when it comes to ocean energy, the subconscious, and the depths of like humanity, right? So how the parts of ourselves, when I say the depths of humanity, I'm talking about humanity's pain, collective suffering, collective feelings, all of that coming together and needing to have an outlet for expression. This is because, again, Neptune is in the final degrees of Pisces. Saturn is transiting now through the sign of Pisces, also now retrograde. There's so much karma and cause and effect that is making itself known, and it's not going to do it in a quiet way, nor should it. So when Neptune goes retrograde again on the 30th, we are going to be forced, and I don't say that in a negative way because I genuinely love the shift in energies. I love to dive deep within this. We are going to be forced to really sit with this and to express it and to unload it, to unleash it. I hope that most of you guys are comfortable with this. I also want to set intention that you're prepared for this, because when Neptune goes retrograde, again in the sign of Pisces, all of that subconscious the fear, those feelings, all of that wants to and will be vomited up in some way, so to speak. Vomited is a really intense word, but that's how it feels. It's liquid pouring out. So it's getting expelled, it's being expressed. So it's hard as an astrologer to tell you exactly how this transit will show up in your life in a specific way. Same thing with Uranus, because these two energies cannot be put in a sandwich bag and labeled correctly. They expand way beyond that. So I just want to open up the door, open up the floor for you, and open up the space so that you know that this is something to be prepared for, that we are already starting to feel it now, and that as you're in it, as you're going through it, come back to the community, come back to home base. BehatiLife, the YouTube channel, me, BehatiLife.com, these are home bases. These are places of worship. They are places of intention. They are places of magic and power. That was what I set the intention for. BehatiLife means she who brings light. It is a lantern to guide those who need it, a beacon of light to go to the place where you are safe, where you are at home, and you can find yourself. And when this transit happens, again, it's going to be the 30th, June 30th, roughly around 5:06 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So some of you guys are going to be driving on the highway after leaving your desk jobs or leaving home or whatever it is, to each their own. We all have our different paths. But when this transit starts to express itself in full starting at that time, just don't be ashamed, don't be afraid, don't be surprised. Go with it, flow with it, because there's a lot of healing that can come from your own release. For some of you guys, you're going to be guided into deeper levels of healing, whether that be Reiki treatment, whether that be therapy, whether that be, acupuncture. Everyone's going to be different. Ayahuasca, or emphasis on shamanic. Damn it, am I butchering that word right now? Medicine. Lean into that. So it's going to be very, very good for you. Very, very good for you. The other thing that I want to talk to you guys about is the fact that the sun is going to be directly conjunct Mercury. Phenomenal opportunity too for you to pull out your journals, for you to begin to dive into the depths, for you to begin to express yourself. If we want to go superficial level, this is another opportunity for you to not share your gifts, but share your voice, because there's a gift there to be found. So this could be an opportunity. This could be a great job offer that comes through, something that you want to explore and expound upon. That's going to feel really good for you. You're going to feel called home, whether it be a job, a relationship, or whatever the case, fill in the blank. Am I missing anything? Oh. At the very, July 3rd, there's going to be the Capricorn full moon. If you know, guys. I just bang with Capricorn energy so aggressively. I just love Capricorn energy, and I love a Capricorn full moon, so I will be working my magic. Shortly after that, I wasn't going to say this on public, but I'm going to open the doors for the shop. That's actually the shop, the Quiet Secret shop reopening date is July 3rd. All orders before that will be caught up on. I'm finishing them up actually this week and even today. So that's the secret shop update opening for BehatiLife, for candles, intentions, stuff like that. But also, we're going to do a whole video about this. So I don't want to actually spend too much time, because this video is already about 30 minutes long, over 30 minutes long. there will be an additional video where I dive into that. We're going to be shuffling cards. We're going to be pulling the energy. We're going to be talking about manifestation and magic and all those other things. So just keep your eyes open for that. Make sure that you're subscribed to this YouTube channel. And when you click on notifications, make sure that you hit the all button, because then you'll get actual notifications of when they come through. If not, if you're passing through, it was an honor to read for you. Now, like I promised in the very beginning of this video, I want to talk to you about how to work with the energies for this week. This week is an energy that is focusing on medicine. It's focusing on subconscious, psychological, emotional medicine. If I were you, I would spend time working in bath soaks. I would spend time going to bodies of water. I would spend time with energies like holy water. I would spend time working with the angelic realms. I would add a cup of water or refresh in the water within your space. On your altar space, for some of you guys, you don't have bowls of water or cups of water at your altar space. That's fine if you're not called to it. I understand. I would water myself. I would focus on my hydration. I would focus on my feelings, the depths of my feelings, how I would express that. I would not shy away from talking about difficult feelings, talking to other people about what it is that I'm feeling. I would start to manifest. I would manifest friendships, connections that feel safe, that feel like home, and places that I can go to, that I can pour into and they can pour into me. These are things that I would do for myself. I would also do soaks. For example, like a floor soak, a house soak for your home to wipe these floors down. I know that people talk about spring cleaning. I totally get it, but now would be an amazing time looking at these transit too, to continue to clear out the baggage, the past energies that have been building up. It happens. It happens, especially if you're a high vibe energy type of being. You can't just do one cleansing and just be like, oh yeah, no, I'm good. It's a constant process. It's a part of your spiritual hygiene. It's how you take care of yourself. I would also go to, if you can, I would go to places of water, not to worship the water if that's not your vibe, but to honor the souls and the spirits that are in those space and call to give them peace right now. I would also focus on water conservation. You don't be surprised or don't overlook how a small step within your own home environment when it comes to water conservation can make a big impact on this earth and can be felt. Even if you feel like it's insignificant, the ocean spirits, water spirit knows your intention and knows your vibe and knows what you're doing, and you'll be blessed because of it. And also water spirit, water energies, the souls of the water right now, the animals of the water, they also need your blessing. They also need your kindness. They also need peace. So now that's how I would work with these energies. I think it's also really important now that we shuffle and dive into the tarot. Love to pull tarot cards, of course, you guys. Love that so much. And if you are looking for daily tarot readings and messages, for those of you guys that don't know, I have created BehatiLife Notes. It's basically a subscription service where I shuffle and pull cards for a small group every day. Almost every day, unless I need a break or if I'm in Costa Rica facilitating a retreat. I'll leave the links for that down below. Okay, let's go ahead and dive right in. Angels and guides from the highest light to the universe, I ask that you speak to me and tell me exactly what it is. Yep, okay. They're like, we're done. Perfect. Okay. So the cards that pulled up, and please bear with me with my very simplistic setup. I'm not one for technology. I'm more about energy and vibes, so it's hard for me to set things up so that you can see. So I'm just going to hold them up old school style. So we have the Magician card. We have the Four of Pentacles. We have the Fool card. That's the first to reveal themselves, to show up. Then we have King of Wands, the World card, and Two of Pentacles. I'm going to show these up for you. I think I'm going to turn this video also into a podcast, so that for those of you guys that are driving or like to vibe or you have children, then you can go ahead and listen to this instead of watching it. It's up to you. But go ahead and search BehatiLife podcast on all of your favorite major podcasting platforms, and you'll find me there. What's really standing out to me is the World card, because with the world card, this is a culmination of all the energies of the entire world. And when I say that, I don't mean all of us collectively. I mean a connection to water spirit, fire spirit, earth spirit, air, and literally spirit, like the ethereal. The world card for me showing up first is a culmination of all of those energies coming forward, stepping forward in order to give you medicine, in order to give you truth, to give revelation, but also to give you peace. The world card, okay, Spirit is leading me to talk to you guys about how when we think of a culmination of things, we think about how we've contributed, like our actions, how we've contributed to certain things. But Spirit is looking at extending beyond that and says that you are part of all of this. Like you are, Spirit is talking about like grasping, like there's something that you are trying to reach for in all of this, when it's like, if you knew that you are a part of all of these different elements and energies, you don't need to grasp, it will come to you. Because you are one with it, you can connect with it, whatever it is. Make sure, I'm hearing Spirit say, make sure that what is that you're calling in is for your highest and greatest good. This is why you need to go deep, because you might subconsciously sense a need, a craving, but if you don't understand where that craving is coming from, it will not be medicine to you. It could be poisonous and toxic to you. Your intuition, your subconscious, doesn't always have the wisdom to discern the difference between which one's medicine and which one is poisonous. But if you come to me, meaning if you go to the higher self, and then we have the Magician card, if you come to me, if you go to the divine, if you go to your higher self and you ask for guidance and wisdom, they will give you the discernment to know what is for you, what will help you, what will advance you. It will give you clarity to know what it is that you actually want, so that you're not repeating past cycles. And now Spirit's talking about the world card, and again, all of this energy. So what you bring into this world, not as far as your actions, but the actual essence of who you are, is so it contributes to this collective energy so big. I don't know how else to say that. I'm literally just, Spirit is speaking that. Yeah. So with King of Wands showing up here and Two of Pentacles, interesting. Even with the Two of Pentacles here showing up, with Pentacles, we have one and the other. We're trying to juggle. And for many of you, okay, Spirit said, for you who are receiving this message right now, you are the King of Wands, and you are learning how to understand how what is impeding you, what is stopping you. Also, you're becoming more comfortable with learning how to administer the balm, is what they're saying. Administer the balm. This means that what you've create, this could be an actual physical balm or a spiritual balm, or a metaphor of this balm that you can, a balm, B-A-L-M. M as in Michael. So go ahead and Google that if you need to look into the additional layers of that word. For those of you guys that don't know, when I channel a word, there's layers to it. But yeah, so you're learning how to administer that balm, aka how to heal yourself. What you need, like what you actually need. For some of you guys, I'm actually hearing and sensing that you're actually going to pull into yourselves a little bit during this time, and shying away. When you hear the word stepping into your power, you feel like it's loud, you feel like it's open, you feel like it's awe-inspiring, but there's also something to be said for power when you go within. Spirit is saying honor that too. One isn't better than the other. When I'm looking at the Magician card, the Fool card, and the Four of Pentacles, there's parts of ourselves that we hold on to. And with the Fool card, we're learning through getting triggered, by being challenged, by having certain parts of ourselves almost, I don't want to say ripped open, but broken open, right? So that it can heal, so that it can be seen, so that it can be expressed. This can only happen by being challenged. This can only happen by being irritated. And from that point, you realize this is something I want to let go of. I don't want to. I also just heard expectations. There's a certain expectation that you're waiting to confirm something for you. For some of you guys, it's waiting for someone to say how they feel about you. And it's not that you need to hear directly from them how they feel about you. You need to start looking into how you feel about yourself, because they, although they are significant in the eyes of the divine, their opinion of you is insignificant in the eyes of the divine. I'm hearing, I heard the word emergency preparedness. So some of you guys are expecting the worst from situations. However, the divine wants to say that if you call out for safety, protection, I'm also hearing inclusion. So some of you guys need to be included in certain circles or certain communities or certain vibes, because those are your people. So ask for what is that you need, and you don't have to worry about, like, it's Spirit is saying that this is emergent. Like, it's an emergency that you find your people, and that you go to your people, or that your people find you. So don't try to figure this out all by yourself. Open up to allowing the mysticism, like the mystery, the magic, and how you are being spiritually led or intuitively led to go to the places that feel like home. And that's going to be a vibe, a feeling, and also show up as friendship. Some of you guys, you really want to let the barrier down. You want to let the wall down. For some of you guys, working in yin yoga and really like moving your body and stretching your body is going to be very helpful for you. Also, this doesn't mean that you have to go to yoga classes. If you feel called to, do it. But look into heart expression yoga, yin yoga on YouTube, and follow the flow of that. Really fall into that flow in your home space, your home environment. It doesn't need to be perfect in order for it to be effective, is what Spirit said. This is a time for many to come into their full power. And it starts with unblocking the emotions and allowing those emotions to flow. And Spirit really actually wants to end. Whoa! And then I just looked at the card, and then we have the High Priestess. So Spirit just really wanted to end on that note. So I'm going to just shuffle really quickly. Oracle. I forget the name of this deck. Whoa. Wow. Wow. I will never forget, this card. I will never forget the time when I channeled for like 30 minutes for Behati Love Notes, just really channeling, and it wasn't recording. This was like not even, maybe less than a month ago. You would think that I would surrender and let it go, but I cannot. I'm like literally stuck on the fact that it's just crazy. And like as I was recording, and I went to go listen back to it to get it up and to share it with the world, it literally was coming through as radio static. It still bothers me to this day. This is just about a month ago. That's a random thought that I had, guys. I'm just word vomiting now, just thoughts with Jess. Okay, let's look at the oracle cards, guys. The first card that you have is Snake Spirit, which is incredible, because wait till you hear the message that I channeled this morning before I even had time to wake my eyes up. But Snake Spirit, it says time to heal. Time to heal. And make sure that you keep an eye out for this next video that I'm going to post. I'm going to wait for Spirit to elaborate if it's needed to, but for the most part, I think the message is ready. I'm going to take my time with it. It will go up when it's divine timing. You guys know I do not rush the process. Just because I received a message doesn't mean that I show up and I put it out there. Discernment and my practice and my ritual has taught me to wait, and that divine timing always has to make a move. It always has to show up. If not, I'm disobeying. I'm just being disobedient. Okay. The next card you have here is Moth Spirit, Surrender Now. Very interesting too, because if you guys look into the symbolism of the moth, it will take you to deeper levels too of what is that you're attracted to and where that attraction is leading you into. So really sit with that. Next card we have Owl Spirit, You See Clearly Now. And that's where all of this is going to lead you to, is the ability to actually see clear. And I also feel like for many of you guys, in all of this tumultuous energy and emotions, it's going to be very important that you call in the spirit of discernment. Next card we have, and the final last card, last but not least, is the Mouse Spirit. Tend to the small things. Especially things that are irritating you, bothering you, things that you keep putting off again and again and again. It's time to begin to look at them and address them and apply medicine to them. or begin to do spiritual surgery and begin to remove and to clean that wound area, because you are ready and it is absolutely time. So again, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me. It is always a blessing. It is always a vibe. Again, if you want to receive messages that have depth to them when it comes to tarot, oracle, and me channeling, Behati Love Notes is definitely there for you. It's a $5 membership where you can gain access to those readings. I will definitely share the link down below. It's usually every day or every other day, again, unless I'm away on a trip or a retreat or whatever the case is. Also, the shop will officially open July 6th. However, as you guys know, I already told you that there was a secret exclusive date, which is going to be July 4th, is going to be the soft opening. And this is why, the reason why I do that is because years ago, many of you guys would ask, listen, by the time the shop opens, it's already sold out. You know, all of the things that it is that I want, that I need, that I want to put on reserve are completely sold out. Just how do we have exclusive access to that? And that's when I started realizing that for those of you guys that have been very loyal to BehatiLife and BehatiLife Medicine, and this is your space, this is your home, you do deserve to have access first before the rest of the world can come in and swoop in. And I honor that by creating secret shop open dates. Now, moving forward in my own process, in my own time, I am not doing nearly the numbers that I was doing before. I don't have any desire to do that. I do not want to rush, and I don't want to have to continue to explain that. I understand when we live in a society where people want right now. I get it. And I understand your expectations of, as a business, what that should look like. But at the end of the day, this is not a normal business. This is not a normal practice. And these aren't normal rituals and routines. So there does have to be it's like certain accommodations and things that need to be set into place. And I'm going to continue to honor that because that's my way. But in the meantime, guys, that's what you can expect, and that's what you can find. And thank you again for allowing me to channel for you. I do hope that you are blessed. I hope that you are well. I hope that you are healthy. I hope that you find peace. And I hope that you have the courage to go to the divine and the time to go to the divine to call out for exactly what it is that you need, especially when it comes to discernment and healing and revealing your own inner truths, that which can be really hard to sit with. But you got it. I believe in you. So thank you again so much for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in my next video.